Hey everyone, welcome back to Unit 4, Day 8 notes. Today we are going to be taking a look at graphing from point-slope form. We've done slope-intercept form, but now we're going to take a look at point-slope form. Students will be able to identify the slope and a point from point-slope form and graph with 80% accuracy. So, what is point-slope form? It is y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1. Okay, so let's take a look at what some of these important letters represent. So m still represents slope. We've talked about this before, which is our rise over run. And then we have x1 and y1, and those values represent a coordinate pair that lies on the graphed line. So it's a point on the line. Okay. So important, this is something that we really want to make sure that we pay attention to. It's the trickiest part of point slope form, that the signs of x1 and y1 are the opposite of what's in the equation. So let's take a look at a couple examples so we can see what we're talking about. In this example, y minus 2 equals 3 parenthesis x minus 4. We have, if we follow our form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So our y1 is 2, but it's the opposite of negative 2. So we need to make sure opposite. That's what our important note was. So y1, it looks like negative 2, but we do the opposite, positive 2. x1 appears to be a negative 4, but we want to do the opposite, which is positive 4. And then the slope lines up with 3. It's what's next to the parentheses. So we have 3. If we take a look at the following example, again, we have our y1, our m, and our x1. So this appears to be a positive 2. But again, important note, we need the opposite. So it's negative 2. And then this is our y1, which appears to be a negative 7. But we need the opposite of negative 7. So we get positive 7. And then our slope is a negative 1/2. Okay, so just make sure you're paying attention to that. Also, trickiness, the y1, right, our y value is listed before the x value in point slope form. So make sure you're paying attention to that so you don't get confused, right? That negative 7 in this last example was our y value, and then the second number, positive 2, turns into negative 2 as our x value. Okay, so let's practice here. I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, and then you all are going to try 4, 5, and 6. So we have y plus 5 equals 2/3 x plus 1. If we follow our format, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So our slope lines up perfectly, is that m is 2/3, and our point, our x1, is the opposite of this positive 1, so it's negative 1. And then our y1 is the opposite of this positive 5, which is negative 5. I said 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 1, 5, and 3. So we'll go to 3 next, and then we'll jump back down to 5. In number 3, there is y minus y1. So we're missing that y1. And if we're missing y1, then its value is just 0. It's not there. But our x1 is still the opposite of negative 4, which is positive 4. And then our slope is negative 2. All right, let's take a look at number 5. Again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Our slope is what's next to the parentheses. In this case, it's what's connected to x, right? That's kind of like slope-intercept form because it's connected to that x value. But now when we do the coordinate, our x1, there is nothing there, right? There's no set of parentheses where we have x minus x1. So our x value is 0. And then our y value is the opposite of positive 2, which is negative 2. Okay. Take a couple seconds here, or a couple minutes, for you all to try 2, 4, and 6. Come on back and see what you got. See you in a few. All right. Welcome back. Let's take a look. Number 2, our slope is 1/4. And then our coordinate pair, our point, is the opposite of positive 8, which is where we get that negative 8. And the opposite of negative 6, which is positive 6. For number 4, our slope is 1 if there's no number next to the set of parentheses. Remember, it is an imaginary 1, or it's an invisible 1. We need to go ahead and draw that 1 in, and that's our slope. Our x1 is the opposite of positive 1, which is negative 1. And then our y1 is the opposite of negative 3, which is positive 3. For number 6, our slope is just a negative sign there. So remember, we draw a 1 in. It's invisible. We have negative 1 for our slope. And then our point is the opposite of negative 7, positive 7, opposite of negative 2, positive 2. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to go to the next step on the back side, which is finding this key information and then graphing. So, number 4, we search for the same information. We have our slope is negative 1. Our point is the opposite of negative 3, which is positive 3, and the opposite of negative 4, which is positive 4. We go ahead, go over 3, up 4, and now our slope is negative 1, or negative 1 over 1. So we go down 1, right 1, or we can go up 1, left 1. Take out our student IDs, unless you have a ruler, and we're going to go ahead and draw our line. Remember, arrows on the ends of our lines, because that's what makes it a line. The information is endless, it goes on. All right, take a look at number 5. Our slope, negative 2/3. Our point, x1 is the opposite of positive 4, which is negative 4. The opposite of positive 2, which is negative 2. Let's go ahead and graph. Left 4, down 2. And then our slope is negative 2 over 3, or positive 2 over negative 3. So I'm going to go down 2 to the right 3, up 2 to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. Back-to-back examples with negative slopes. Go ahead, take your student ID or your ruler, draw on our line, put the arrows on the end. Okay, number 6, our slope is 2. Our coordinate pair, or our point, is the opposite of positive 1, negative 1, the opposite of negative 6, which is positive 6. Go left 1, up 6. This time we have a positive slope, so remember it's 2, which is 2 over 1. We go up 2 to the right 1, or we can go down 2 to the left 1. Because negative over negative equals a positive. Again, straight edge, arrows on the end, and there it is. That's all there is to it. Go ahead, try 7, 8, 9. Come back, see how you did. See you in a few. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look. So number 7, our slope is 3 over 2. Our coordinate pair is the opposite of negative or positive 4, which is negative 4. The opposite of negative 2, which is positive 2. It's a positive slope, so it goes up to the right. Number 8, our slope is negative 3/5. Our x-coordinate is the opposite of positive 6, negative 6. And the opposite of negative 1, which is positive 1. This is a negative slope, so it goes down to the right. And then number 9, we talked about an example like this on the first page. Our slope is negative 1/2. Now there is nothing over here to the right for our x1, so it's just 0. And then our y1 is the opposite of positive 3, which is negative 3. It's a negative slope, so it goes down to the right. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.